Very good afternoon. This is the midday news on Rajya Sabha TV. All the developing news stories at the top of this hour coming up ahead. I'm Ashwarya with you. Let us start the news bulletin with the headlines. India is one of the fastest growing major economies of the world, asserts Vice President Venkaiah Naidu at India-Lithuania Business Forum, calls for taking trade and investment to new level. Also holds talks with the Prime Minister of Lithuania. "190 primary schools reopen in Srinagar. Curbs lifted in more areas of the valley. J&K administration says aim is to restore landline telephone services to the fullest. Heavy rains claim 28 lives in North India. 22 missing in Himachal Pradesh, Punjab and Uttarakhand so far. Yamuna above danger mark triggers flood alert in Delhi, Haryana, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh. Talks with Pakistan now will only be about Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, asserts Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, tells Islamabad to stop supporting terrorism for talks. And Hima Das and Mohammad Anas win gold in 300 meters event in Czech Republic. Hima Das bags her 6th gold of the year. The top story this afternoon, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today addressed the India-Lithuania Business Forum and called for taking trade and investment to a new level between the two countries. Highlighting the reforms undertaken by the government, Vice President Naidu said that India's growing market offers immense opportunities for the Lithuanian businesses. He said that interaction between business community of both nations was aimed at furthering economic cooperation between India and Lithuania. He added that India has undertaken an ambitious plan to build next-generation infrastructure, including 100 smart cities, airports, high-speed trains, highways and cyber connectivity. The Vice President further invited the Lithuanian business delegation to India to further increase cooperation. Pharmaceuticals is another area of potential collaboration by both sides, as India produces world-class pharmaceuticals at highly competitive prices, which may be required in Lithuania, which is trying to rationalize its spending on healthcare, Vice President Naidu asserted.
The warm outreach of the two nations' body politic has created a fertile ground to reap the fruits of economic development. I would particularly like to thank His Excellency the Minister for being here today, this morning. Our joint presence here underlines our commitment to deepen our economic and trade linkages. Both our countries are also marching together on the road to successfully adopting a free, transparent and robust business environment. India is the fastest growing major economy in the world. We are the largest parliamentary democracy in the world, and now, according to reports of the World Bank, World Economic Forum, International Monetary Fund, Asian Development Bank, Moody's ratings, everybody is saying if India moves at the same pace with the reforms, it will become the third largest economy in the world.
And soon after the Business Forum meet, the Vice President also met with the Prime Minister of the Republic of Lithuania in Vilnius. An earlier Vice President Venkaiah Naidu called upon the Indian community in Lithuania to serve as a bridge in strengthening economic and cultural ties between the two nations. Rajkamal Rao brings us this report from Lithuania.
On the second day of his three-nation tour to the Baltic region, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu addressed the Indian community at Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania. Addressing the gathering, he said bilateral trade between the two countries was below potential. The Vice President added that Lithuania could be an important technology partner for India, especially in areas such as lasers, renewable energy, agro-food processing and life sciences.
Our bilateral trade, which has grown in recent years, is much below potential, and Lithuania has the potential to be an important technology partner for India, especially in areas such as lasers, renewable energy, agro-food processing, and life sciences. I'm sure all of you must be following the developments and transformation taking place in India today under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi, who has received a resounding mandate for the people of India for a second term in office.
He also stressed that India was one of the most open economies of the world and is placed now at 77th rank among 190 countries in the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index.
Become one of the fastest growing economy, as I explained to you. The business sentiment following the numerous initiatives implemented by the government is positive and upbeat. India is one of the most open economies of the world when it comes to sectors opened up for foreign direct investment. Goods Service Tax, GST, is a revolutionary taxation transformation that has been taken by India. And with one nation, one tax, one nation, one market approach has been implemented. India is placed now 77th in ranking among the 190 countries in the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business, and we are trying to work further. India's leap of 23 positions in 2018 and 30 positions to 17 of Ease of Doing Business are rare achievements for any large and diverse country the size of India, and it has been made possible due to sustained efforts of the government.
Earlier, the Vice President visited the city of Kaunas and met with the mayor, who hosted a lunch to Naidu and the Indian delegation. The mayor presented the key to the city and the coat of arms of Lithuania to the Vice President. Venkaiah Naidu invited the mayor to visit India to explore business opportunities between the two countries.
There is a broad consensus about reforms among all stakeholders, including all political parties. There are huge opportunities in India for anybody to come and invest, and also I'm happy that there are a number of students from India who are studying here, and then our boys who are here, they are all very comfortable, very happy.
The Vice President also visited Kaunas University of Technology in Santaka Valley and went around the laboratory area of the Institute of Material Science and the Ultrasound Research Institute. The Vice President also saw a presentation on Kronoi's hydropower plant.
During his Day 2 visit in Lithuania, Vice President of India M. Venkaiah Naidu interacted with the mayor of Kaunas city. Later, he visited the Kaunas University and went around the laboratories located inside the university and inquired about the experiments and the innovations that are taking place in the university. Later in the day, Vice President interacted with the business delegation and also met with Indian community members residing in Lithuania. With camera person Dushmanta, Rajkamal, Rajya Sabha TV.
And in a bid to enhance cultural ties and improve people-to-people relations between India and Lithuania, the Lithuanian government published the book History of Lithuania in Sanskrit and Hindi. Now, these books were presented to Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu during his bilateral interactions with the Lithuanian delegation at the President's palace on Saturday. Here are all the details.
To sign this book.
Recognizing India's rich culture and heritage and to enhance its relationship with its people, the Lithuanian government published the history of Lithuania in Sanskrit and Hindi and presented it to the Vice President Venkaiah Naidu to mark his visit to the Baltic nation. Vice President Naidu appreciated the Lithuanian government for the publication and said that the growing cultural and academic linkages between India and Lithuania are satisfactory.
When I was working as ambassador of Lithuania in India for 5 years, we're telling those stories, and in a way you would discover that so few people know about them, and you want more and more people to get aware about these important connections. I also had a chance to visit the library of Kolkata University 5 years ago or so, and was surprised because while walking in the library I just said, so show me what books on Lithuania you have. So we went to this electronic database, we enter Lithuania name there, and they returned only one name of a book on Lithuania. So entire university has only one book on Lithuania, and then that book was published in early 60s. So indeed that was a small crime in a way to keep a situation like this. We decided we need more books, so we started publishing. And of course, History of Lithuania book is a very important addition to this collection we are building now in trying to bring India and Lithuania closer.
Earlier delivering the joint press statement, the Vice President said that he was confident that his visit to Lithuania would enhance cooperation and lead to a deeper understanding and stronger ties between India and Lithuania. The Lithuanian President and the Vice President witnessed the signing of 3 MOUs to strengthen agricultural, cultural and legal cooperation between the two countries.
I had extensive discussion with the President this evening on all important aspects of our bilateral relationship as well as global and regional issues of common interest. We expressed our commitment to further build on strong, long-standing friendly ties between both of our countries. India and Lithuania are on the path of economic reforms to realize the goal of socio-economic development of our people. We agreed to enhance cooperation in areas such as agriculture, food processing, information technology, financial services, and also financial technology, among others. India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world, presents opportunities for win-win partnership between Lithuania and India entrepreneurs in multiple sectors.
The Vice President is on a 5-day trip to Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia. The first ever high-level visit from India to the 3 Baltic countries. Rajkamal Rao's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has said that the Article 370 of the Constitution has been abrogated to ensure all-round development and to extend the benefits to the people of Jammu and Kashmir. In a newspaper article to a Hindi daily, M. Venkaiah Naidu said that a majority of people in the country have supported this decision of the government. He added that it is being seen as a major step towards ensuring an inclusive India. The Vice President wrote that the demand for the removal of Article 370 from Jammu and Kashmir was a long pending demand. He added that while Article 370 failed to benefit the people in a meaningful way, it was used by the separatists to drive a wedge between those living in the Jammu and Kashmir region and the rest of the country. And in Jammu and Kashmir, 190 primary schools reopened in Srinagar today. Principal Secretary Planning and Development Rohit Kansal said on Sunday that restrictions were further eased in 50 police station areas of the Kashmir Valley. He further added that the duration of relaxation was also increased from 6 hours to 8 hours. The relaxation hours were increased, keeping in view the response and the request by the traders, and will continue in the days to come. On Sunday, Jammu and Kashmir authorities made 10 more telephone exchanges also operational in the valley. But the authorities closed one of the 17 exchanges after reports that the landline phones were being used for spreading misinformation campaign. Meanwhile, the first batch of 300 Hajj pilgrims returned to Srinagar from Saudi Arabia on Sunday, amid elaborate arrangements made by the authorities to ensure their smooth return. Meanwhile, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that India will hold talks with Pakistan only when it stops supporting terrorism. He further said that if the talks were held with Pakistan, it would be only on Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Singh said this while addressing a public rally in Haryana on Sunday.
क्यों बात होनी चाहिए? बात यदि पाकिस्तान के साथ होगी तभी होगी जबकि जो आतंकवाद को संरक्षण देने का काम, पैदा करने का काम पाकिस्तान अपनी धरती पर कर रहा है, जब तक उस आतंकवाद को समाप्त नहीं करता है तो पाकिस्तान से बातचीत करने का कोई कारण नहीं है मेरे बहनों भाई। और आगे भी जो बातचीत होगी, किस मुद्दे पर बातचीत होगी? अरे बात होगी अब तो पाक अधिकृत कश्मीर पर बात होगी बहनों भाइयों, और किसी मुद्दे पर बात नहीं होगी.
The defense minister said that the government would never let the country down. Referring to the abrogation of Article 370 and 35A, he said that the BJP government is implementing its poll manifesto. He added that Article 370 was abrogated for Jammu and Kashmir's interests, keeping in view the future of its youth. The function was organized to flag off BJP's Jan Ashirwad Yatra from Kalka in Panchkula district.
हमारे प्रधानमंत्री ने फैसला किया कि नहीं चलेगा, और आपने देखा कि चुटकी बजाते ही धारा 370 को समाप्त कर दिया और 35A को बहनों भाइयों हम लोगों ने समाप्त किया. लोग कहते थे कि धारा 370 को यदि जिस समय टच करने की कोशिश करेंगे, छूने की कोशिश करेंगे, देश बच जाएगा. और लोग कहते थे कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी फिर सत्ता में नहीं आ पाएगी. मैं दो टूक शब्दों में कहना चाहता हूं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी मेरे बहनों भाइयों केवल सरकार बनाने के लिए राजनीति नहीं करती है. भारतीय जनता पार्टी राजनीति करती है तो देश बनाने के लिए राजनीति करती है, केवल सरकार बनाने के लिए हम राजनीति नहीं करते.
And Home Minister Amit Shah has said on Sunday that the politics of appeasement and vote bank were the reasons for the continuation of a triple talaq for so long. Amit Shah asserted that a historic wrong has been undone by abolishing triple talaq. He was delivering a public lecture on the abolition of triple talaq in the national capital. The Home Minister said that the Modi government's decision is not against the Muslims but rather to benefit them. The minister said that the practice was against Islam as well, and many Islamic countries had stopped it long back. He said it was a hurdle to women empowerment, to the country's development, as well as a blot on India's democracy.
कोई भी कुप्रथा हो, कोई भी सामाजिक दूषण हो, उसको जब निर्मूल करते हैं तो समाज में विरोध नहीं होता है, उसका स्वागत होता है. परंतु ट्रिपल तलाक की कुप्रथा को, इस सामाजिक दूषण को, करोड़ों माताओं बहनों को अन्याय करने वाले इस रिवाज को हटाने के लिए इतना विरोध, इतना आंदोलन क्यों हुए? उसके पीछे एक तुष्टीकरण का भाव और तुष्टीकरण की राजनीति जिम्मेदार है. ये तुष्टीकरण धीरे 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 वोट बैंक निर्मित करने का एक जरिया बना, और वोट बैंक के आधार पर अपनी सत्ता को बचा रखना, वोट बैंक के आधार पर दूसरी बार सत्ता पर आना, सालों साल सत्ता पर आना, इसकी आदत जैसे कुछ राजनीतिक पार्टियों को पड़ गई, और इसी के कारण ऐसी कुप्रथाएं चलती रही.
In midday news, we'll take a very short break. We'll be right back with more news on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back after the break. Prime Minister Narendra Modi concluded his two-day visit to Bhutan on Sunday, during which he held talks with the country's leaders to further deepen the bilateral ties. Addressing the students of the Royal University of Bhutan in Thimphu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that India and Bhutan are natural partners in bringing prosperity to their people. Prime Minister Modi said that not only geographical proximity, but history and culture and spiritual traditions have created unique and deep bonds between the people of the two countries. The Prime Minister gave a pep talk to the students in Bhutan, saying that they had the power and potential to do extraordinary things which will impact future generations. Bhutan's Prime Minister Lotay Tshering was present on the occasion.
The world today offers more opportunities than ever before. You have the power and potential to do extraordinary things which will impact generations to come. Find your real calling and pursue it with full passion. Friends, India-Bhutan cooperation in hydropower and energy is exemplary. But the real source of power and energy of this relationship are our people. So, it is people first, and people will always be at the center of this relationship.
During his stay in Thimphu, Prime Minister Modi held wide-ranging talks with his Bhutanese counterpart Lotay Tshering as the both leaders discussed steps to further expand the bilateral partnership across several sectors. The two countries also inked 10 MOUs in the fields of space, research, aviation, IT, power and education to infuse new energy in their ties. The Prime Minister also met with Bhutan's leader of opposition, Pema Gyaltsen, on Sunday, and the two leaders discussed the issues of bilateral interests. Prime Minister Modi also paid his respects at the National Memorial Shorten, a revered monument honouring the late 3rd Druk Gyalpo. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi will embark on a 3-day state visit to the UAE and Bahrain beginning from 23rd of this month. Prime Minister Modi will first travel to United Arab Emirates, where he will meet the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and discuss bilateral, regional and international matters of mutual interest. He will also receive the Order of Zayed, the highest civil decoration of the UAE, which was conferred to him earlier in April 2019 in recognition of the distinguished leadership of Prime Minister Modi for giving a big boost to the bilateral relations between the two countries. The External Affairs Ministry said that from UAE, the Prime Minister will leave for Bahrain on 24th of August on a 2-day visit. It will be the first ever prime ministerial visit from India to that country. And during his visit, Prime Minister Modi will hold talks with his counterpart, Prince Sheikh Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa, on the entire spectrum of bilateral relations, as well as on the regional and international issues of mutual interest. Prime Minister Modi will also launch the renovation of Srinathji Temple in Manama. Let's get you some other news now. RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat has said that it is necessary to include Hindi and other languages in the competitive examinations in our country. Mohan Bhagwat was speaking in the concluding session of Gyan Utsav, which was on competitive examinations in our country. Gyan Utsav was organized by the RSS-affiliated Shiksha Sanskriti Utthan Nyas at the Indira Gandhi National Open University in New Delhi.
हम अपने मत का अभिनिवेश लेकर चले तो अब आखिर हम मनुष्य है ना, अपना भी एक दायरा है, उस दायरे में हम सोचते हैं। अलग अलग लोग हैं, उनके अलग अलग दायरे हैं, वहाँ जाके सोचना चाहिए क्या है कैसा है। ऐसा हम सब मिलकर सोचते हैं और सहमति बनती है। सहमति बनती है तो तुरंत काम होता है। वो सहमति बनाने का काम हमको करना पड़ेगा। अब यहाँ से हमको सक्रिय होना पड़ेगा और सक्रियता से काम करने वालों की संख्या बढ़ानी पड़ेगी और आधिकारिक लोगों में से उनके विचार विमर्श से यह सहमति अपने क्षेत्र में उत्पन्न हो, ऐसा करना पड़ेगा।
An update on the monsoon situation in our country. Well, heavy rain slashed several parts of the country and 28 people have been killed in Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Punjab on Sunday. At least 22 people were killed in rain-related incidents in Himachal Pradesh. Due to heavy rains, district officials have ordered the closure of all educational institutions in Shimla and Kullu today. Over 500 people are stranded in several parts of the state as a number of roads have been blocked by landslides and flash floods. Also, train services between Shimla and Kalka have been disrupted. They were disrupted on Sunday after multiple landslides blocked the entire rail route. Meanwhile, a flood warning has been sounded in Delhi, Haryana, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh as the Yamuna and other rivers are in spate, and Haryana government has asked the army to remain on standby after 8.14 lakh cusecs of water were released from the Hathini Kund barrage in the Yamuna river. And in Uttar Pradesh also, several rivers including Ganga, Yamuna and Ghagra are in spate. Meanwhile, in Uttarakhand, the flood toll has risen to 10 as heavy rain slashed the state, and out of this, 9 of them were killed in a cloudburst in Uttarkashi district alone, where a number of people are still missing. Former Bihar Chief Minister and JDU leader Jagannath Mishra passed away after suffering a prolonged illness. Mishra passed away in Delhi at the age of 82. And condoling his demise, Chief Minister Nitish Kumar announced a 3-day state mourning in Bihar. Let's get you some sports news now. Indian sprinters Hima Das and Mohammad Anas won a gold medal each in 300 meters events at Atletiki Mitrika event in Czech Republic. Hima Das won the gold in a women's event on Saturday, and Mohammad Anas claimed the yellow medal in men's category on Sunday. This was Hima Das's 6th gold in 2019 in European races since last month. Mohammad Anas won the gold, clocking 32.41 seconds. Now, Anas has already qualified for the 400 meters event for the World Championships to be held in Doha in September-October, while Hima Das is yet to achieve it. And in more sports news now, in badminton, BWIF World Championships begin today in Switzerland. India's Sai Praneeth will clash with Jason Anthony of Canada, while HS Pranoy will play today against his Finnish opponent. And in women's singles, double silver medalist PV Sindhu will look to produce another masterclass when she resumes her quest for an elusive gold at the BWF World Championships. And remember, Sindhu has been the most consistent performer in the World Championships in the last few years. And that is the wrap on this edition of Midday News. Thanks so much for your time.